Welcome to Stitching with Cindy Botts. Today I have a really fun block. I do not know the name of the block. I do not know where it originated. I saw it on the internet and I thought, wow, that is a really cool block. I just got to figure out how to make it. So let me walk you through it. It's a little bit challenging when it comes to assembling it. The individual parts though aren't that hard. So let's start here at the corner. So this is a 2.5 inch block, 2.5 inch square with another 2.5 inch square. You sew those two together to make this 2.5 by 4.5 inch rectangle. And now for this next section here, you're going to use, I'm going to start with a 5-inch square of the white. I'm calling this white. And then you're going to use your colors in 2.25-inch strips. And you are going to sew those on the diagonal. So first thing I did was I cut this 5-inch white square, cut that 5-inch square along the diagonal. Then I laid this triangle onto the strips of 2.5 and 2.5 that I had sewn together. Put them right faces together on that triangle and then cut them. So here's one right here. So you just took that triangle, laid it on the two strips that have already been sewn together, those 2.25 strips, and I used my white triangle as a template. All right, so that goes right like that. So that is that piece. All right, and you're gonna need to make 2 with this color pattern and 2 with the other red. Okay, so the same basic thing. You just take those strips and sew them together. Now here I didn't have quite enough of I think I cut these wrong, and so I added that just to get it in the seam allowance so that I would be able to make my block. Okay, so that's how you do those. Very easy. Again, you just cut 2 of these because you're going to cut them in half on the diagonal, which gives you the 4. And then you're going to make 2 of this set and 2 of this combination, just alternating that red. All right, then let's talk about the other block that makes this other block. So you start this off with a 7.5-inch black square. Okay, so this is a 7.5-inch black and a 7.5-inch white. You're going to lay the black square on top of the white square, draw a diagonal line, and you are going to then take and cut down the line you drew, and that'll give you 2 half square triangles. Okay, so now you're going to use the same procedure that you used for this, but only this time you now have your half square triangles. Now you're going to want to do enough of these so that you have right and left sides. Okay, so this one was the pair to this one. So if you start with, let me just think here a minute, 2 of the black and 2 of the white, you will have enough of these pieces of this for 2 blocks. Okay, and you can see here that the white and the black are in different placements. Okay, so that's why when you do your half square triangle, you're going to have this. All right, so you're going to have them in different placements. Okay, so you just want to be mindful of that. And then you just do the same technique. This strip is a 2 1/4 strip. This is a 2-inch strip, and this is a 2 1/4 strip. All right, and so you're just gonna have your red 1 and your red 2, and then you're gonna do it the opposite way, having your red 2 and your red 1, and you're gonna make 2 of those for each color. And then it's just a matter of where you lay them to get this design. Okay, you can see you're just going to alternate them and line them up. This center block is a 4.5-inch square that has been snowballed with your black. Those are all the pieces that you need to make this this design. Then it's just a matter of very carefully sewing all your pieces together. And I started down at the side here, sewing these pieces together. So if this one went here, all right, then I started sewing this piece. Let me just make sure I get the right one here. Okay, first I would sew the rectangle on the bottom. All right, then this unit would be complete by sewing that rectangle on the bottom, the black square and the white square to make the rectangle. Then you would sew this here. Okay, now see how that's offset? You just want to make sure that when you lay these on, you're nesting those seams. Then when you come to the edge here, you want to stay back a good 1/2 inch or so to give yourself room for when you do that Y seam. Okay, then you're going to come in with your next piece. All right, you're just going to come in with your next piece and you're going to sew this seam. Now remember, you got your rectangle here. I don't have a rectangle done up for the mock-up, I'm sorry. And you're just going to line up everything. So you're going to sew right sides together. This will now be attached to this side. Okay, and then you're going to go in here and you're going to line up this so that these seams are meeting at the corner here. Okay, and then you can finish stitching off that little spot that you left open to give you room for that, just lining up those places. All right, now again, you're going to want to leave on this seam, you're going to want to leave a little bit, you know, 1/2 inch or so in, because then you're going to put your center block in, your snowball block in, and that's going to start right here and go up. All right, so once you have that sewn in, you can finish sewing off this side. All right, and you just work your way around doing that same thing, leaving that little bit of 1/4 inch space. I like to give at least a 1/2 inch, if not more, so that I have room to fold things over, make that seam, and then finish it off. Okay, and you just work your way around doing that same process. I hope you enjoy this quilt block. Again, I wish I knew what the name of it was. I don't. I ended up putting a 1.5 inch cut strip around it, so I will have an inch border, and it has a little bit of a wave to it. You just keep pressing that baby down. You got some salvage, give to it because you're cutting it on the bias in some places. All right, so you get a little bit of a wave. Just keep pressing it down, line up your things. I'm going to make this into a tote bag. I don't necessarily think I'm going to quilt it. Put some interfacing in with it and it'll make a nice tote bag. Now, I think for the one side, I'm going to do that block. But then on the other side, I'm going to take these other 4 pieces that made, and I'm going to make a different design for the back. So I'm going to have one design on the front and another design on the back. So if we put these together, let me just spin this around, we can have this design here. And that's kind of cool to use the same blocks and create something just a tad bit different. There we go. All right, it's not the same size, so I'll put a wider border on it. But I think that'll be cute to have the back be a different block. All right, and again, I'm just gonna sew those together. All right, but you can see how this block here, the black is on this side. All right, so this is the right or the left side of this block. You see how they're not in the same place? So that's the leftover blocks. You can make another block exactly the same if you wanted, or like I said, you can make a different design. I might take and with these other little pieces I made, I might make a pocket. And again, you can lay them in a different design. And it's just something fun to do with the extra pieces that you may have created. Okay. Now this, you wouldn't necessarily have to have extra, but the pieces, the strip of material, you know, you had and stuff like that. You could do that. You could slide these around so they alternate. But I just thought that would make a cool pocket on the inside. Have a great day. Please like and subscribe. Happy stitching. Bye-bye now.